Hello, this is Zamanzadeh from zzNetworking.com. In order to see better, press this icon to view full screen. In our last video tutorial, we talked about the group by clause. In this one, I will be discussing the having clause. Having is very similar to where. Just as the where clause is used to limit the rows that are included in the query's result, the having clause is used to limit the groups that are included. In the last video, we left off with the following code. We selected the customer number, customer name, the average balance, gave it an alias of average, the sum of balance, gave it the alias of sum from the customer table, and we said where the average balance is greater than 400. This is what generated the error, is because we tried to restrict a group of information as opposed to a row of information in the where clause. We'll get back to this example at the end of this video. In the meantime, let's go over some simple statements using having. This should make it clearer to you when and where to use this. Now, in our first example, we're going to go ahead and do a simple group statement. We're going to simply code the following. Select customer name, average balance from the customer table, and group by customer name. Hit Control Enter, and we get the following data results. We get the customer name and the average balance for every customer. Now let's say we want to restrict this information. We don't want to list all our customers and their average balances. Well, this is where we use the having clause. Go ahead and code the following. Select customer name, average balance from customer, group by customer name, only this time we're going to add having average balance greater than 7,000. We enter this. Now, as opposed to all our customers and their average balances being displayed, now we only have 6. We've restricted the data to only customers whose average balance is greater than 7,000. Now let's do a few more examples about this. Go ahead and code the following. Select customer name, sum of balance from customer, and then group by customer name. Now we get a list of all our customers, their names, along with the sum of their balance. Now let's say we want to restrict this information further. In order to do so, we simply add a having clause to the statement. In the following code, you notice we added having sum balance greater than 7,000. We execute this code, and now our data is once again restricted to 6 rows. Now, in the next example, I'm going to show you a very simple select from where statement. Here I said select customer name from customer where balance is greater than 15,000. Now the reason I'm doing this is to show you that just like in the select from where clause, where you have one column name in your select statement, but then you have a different column name in your where clause, you could do something similar with having. Now how does that work? Well, in the next example, we are going to code the following. Select customer name, average balance in parentheses from customer, group by customer name, but then the having clause, as opposed to restricting the groups of information about average balances, you notice how I said having a sum balance greater than 7,000. So now what it's doing is it's giving us the customer name, the average balance for all our customers, but only for those customers who the sum of their balance is greater than 7,000. Let's do another example like that. First, to demonstrate this clearer to you, we're going to do this code. Select customer name, average credit limit from customer, group by customer name, having average credit limit greater than 4,000, the same as in the select clause. So you're going to see, for example, we get 6 rows, and the average credit limit for our first row is $16,744.43. Now let's go ahead and change it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and change the bottom line to having average balance greater than 4,000. Now you're going to notice that this information, this column here, is going to change, because now instead of restricting the groups of information to those who had an average credit limit greater than 4,000, now we're going to go ahead and restrict the groups to only those who have an average balance of greater than 4,000. As you see, our data changes. Now, I'm going to give you another example to make it clearer to you. Here we say select customer name, average balance from customer, group by customer name, having an average credit limit greater than 14,000. So, we execute this and we see that we get the customer name and the average balance for all our customers whose average credit limit is greater than 14,000. Once again, if we switch this credit limit to balance, the data will change and still be displayed. Now we have the customer name and the average balance for our customers who have an average balance greater than 14,000. Now let's make it a little bit more complicated. In our previous tutorial, we worked with a problem similar to this. We said select customer number, customer name, average balance. We gave it the alias average, as you can see here. And then we said sum of balance, and we gave it the alias sum, as you can see here. From customer, we restricted the rows of information in the where clause. We said we want the customer number to be greater than 400. We then grouped it by customer number and customer name, since those were our non-aggregate function columns. And then we ordered it, we sorted the information by customer number. Hit Control Enter, and there we go. We now see the following information. Now, what happens when you decide that you want to change, you want to restrict the average balance to greater than 400? Well, you get this error because it says it's not a group function. So let's go ahead and change it back to customer num. Suppose we want to once again restrict the groups of information. Well, when you're using a select from where statement and you want to use the having clause, you have to use it after the group by. So we'd say having average balance greater than 400. So now we're selecting the customer number, customer name, the average balance. We're given the alias average. We're selecting sum of balance, given the alias sum. From the customer table, we're restricting the rows of information to where the customer number is greater than 400. We are now grouping the information by customer number and customer name, or non-aggregate function columns. And we're restricting the groups of information to those who have an average balance greater than 400, and we are sorting it by customer number. Control Enter, and those are the results. Our customer number column will not have a value less than 400, less than or equal to 400, and our average balance will not have a value less than or equal to 400. Just to remind you, whenever you're doing a select from where statement, it must be in the following order. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you.